Hey guys, and welcome to episode 15. Sorry there has been a lack of videos lately. It's been very busy in the life of Rorax, so unfortunately there has been some days missed there, but let's hope that we're back on the ball. And today is a very, very special day on the server, at least for me. We're going to do the demon invasion for blood magic. And so where I have set this up, it's a very complex thing. And I've done it as minimalistically as I possibly can. It's currently nighttime and raining, which is perfect in the industrial blight. But if we come out this way, and you can start to see it in the distance, we've got a big, big ritual. 128 ritual stones, plus the master ritual stone. Capped on top, we have 8 bell jars, all, if I hold the correct tool out, all linked to the master ritual stone, which once this thing gets started they will drain out. We have a lot of dudes around here, don't we? Haven't seen this many mobs in a long time. Get out of here. That's perfect weather for it, so the only thing that I really need to do is right click that with an activation crystal, although I think I've missed a step because I believe, yeah, here zombie, I believe I need a greater activation crystal. I don't think I can use the weak activation shard. Activation, I need awakened activation. Yes, alright, so that was a step I missed. I'll be back once I have done that. See you in a sec. Alright, so I'm not at Digger just yet, but I just thought I'd show you some changes to the altar. Because with the Archmage's Orb and Tier 5, you can get up to 10 million LP. The ritual we're about to do costs 15 million life points. So I've had to adapt the altar to include these runes of the orb, and it takes exactly each of these rows is 13, so that's 13 plus 12, which is 25. So it takes 25 runes of the orb to reach the 15 million mark that you need. And I'll tell you something, the incense system is not ready for tier 6. This took me a long, long time of very, very boring work. Because what I would do is I would charge my knife, I would come up to the altar with my 30 health, or 60 depending on how you look at Minecraft health, and I would jab myself, giving me about 174,000 life points. Now divide 15 million by 174,000 and that takes like 130 trips or something along those lines, and it's not instant either. It's not a matter of just going back and forth very quickly. You had to wait for this to drain all the blood out and then heal yourself up. In fact, I made myself this potion flask of instant health. The reason it's instant health is because regen, you get punished for using regen. So I used instant health in order to heal myself so that I could go back for another stab, because there's no way that I would be fully healed with 30 hearts by the time the pool was drained. So if we look at Divination Sigil, I have 15 million life points, which we need for this. And in my inventory I do actually have my greater activation sigil crystal, which means that we can go activate this. Now the funny thing I realized also is it should not be nighttime or raining in Digger. But Mistcraft was recently updated, so it might have broken some things. We shall see. So the first things first is that these are tied to this Master Ritual Stone, and we need to activate it. Blam! You feel a pull, but you are too weak to push any further. Oh dear. What have I missed? Oh, I know what I've missed. I haven't tied the activation crystal to myself. There we go. And off it goes. Now if I look, I only have 99,000 LP left. And it's draining all those crystal bell jars, and it's just going to make lightning and fire and mess until it's done. So this might actually be fast forwarded because it takes quite a bit. Alright, as you can see, the symbol has stopped and the bell jars are empty. So now what we do is, in my hand is a demon crystal. You can summon lesser demons, and one of them is the fallen angel. I'm not sure if it works with other demons, but the fallen angel, when you kill him, he drops this demon crystal, which means that that demon is permanently bound to me. But if I pop him on top of this, and then sacrifice him, we get the demon portal. Now everything's going to start blowing up, and explosions are going to start happening, and things and stuff, but it's going to take quite a while. And there it goes. We now have the start of a demon invasion. It is official. I don't have to do any more hard work. I can start taking back these ritual stones. I could have saved a lot of the ritual stones, but they're a dime a dozen when you're as powerful as me, so I didn't really bother. Excuse me. The server has been acting very, very nicely lately. We're not sure why. We think it's because one of the bases causing the problems. They haven't logged in a while. And so, because that base isn't loaded, it's not affecting the TPS, which is fantastic because we've been able to play again. And so now we have a demon portal. Isn't that cool? This takes a long, long time. In fact, you can see one house has just appeared. But we're not actually going to start seeing anything interesting for quite some time, and I'm going to have to let this generate for a while. But each house generates with loot chests in it and things, but what we're really after is the demons that will start spawning, like this guy. As you can see, he has 200 health, and he didn't drop anything for me. But what we want to do is we want to kill those demons and take what they drop, and it's actually best if I don't kill them all immediately, but I'm going to do it just because once I get one of what I'm trying to find. Dang it. I actually think I need to be using a bound blade for this. Which I probably shouldn't be using right now because I have so little LP. So I'm just going to turn it off and wait for another demon to spawn, hopefully. Hopefully. Alright, I think what I'll do is I'll wait for more of the demon invasion to spread out, and I'll be back once there's some demons about to try and get something off. See you in a sec. Alright guys, we're back. And as you can see, we've got a heck of a village going on. This happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. I think we've got it sped up in our configs. But the village has grown quite big, and we've got great many demons. And I've already killed a couple of them, and they drop these soul shards and these life shards. And they can be used for crystal clusters. That's all we care about right now, it's just the crystal clusters, because those let us get to tier 6. Because we're not tier 6 yet, we've only just opened the gateway to being tier 6. So what we need to do is we need to kill a great many demons and take all of their life shards and soul shards, and yes, you do need to use the bound blade to do it. Or at least nothing was dropping when I was using my ender sword, but my bound blade is pretty good too, so it doesn't really matter. So let's get on with murdering demons. As you can see, they've got a lot of health. And they also do a lot of damage. Ow. Okay, those guys dropped some soul shards. And every single one of these buildings does have loot in it, by the way. I'm very unlikely to have to worry about my health, though, unless I get swarmed. Hey, you, come over here. These guys attack you from a distance and up close. Way has done a very, very good job on their AI, and they're smart about how they interact with you. If you start looting their chests and things, they'll try and find you as well. So if I come in here, start opening chests, or at least this is what Way has told me. Yeah, see, that guy is grumpy at me already. Yeah, here, grunty. I'm mostly after life shards, I think. And I haven't seen a lot of life shards. Hopefully this guardian will drop some for me. He dropped one. Oh. Ice Demon Grunt. I think the Fire Demon Grunts are the worst, because I think they do a lot of damage, if I remember right. Yeah. Get out of here. There we go. Server is doing some yucky things again, I'm not sure why. It does seem to only be intermittent though, so that's good. And as the village grows, actually, because it's not even at full power, actually takes quite a while for a demon invasion to get up to speed, but once this thing gets as big as it can, it will start generating tougher and tougher demons, and the town starts to look quite different. Or at least that's the intention. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some time farming up these here shards from these guys, and I'll be back once I have something to show for it. See you soon. So right here we have a tier 6 altar. By the way, I forgot to, before I go on with that, I forgot to tell you, I set up a ritual of regeneration and a ritual of feathered knife in order to try and get that 15 million LP. It didn't turn out very well, and it was actually better just to run back and forth between the incense and the altar. But the ritual's there, and if you're wondering why, that's why. Now, onto the main affair. As you can see, made haphazardly out of just all the different runes I've actually had on standby. I've set up the rune section of the tier 6 altar. Now in order to make this tier 6, now I've made crystal clusters out of the soul shards and life shards that I got. We want this pillar to be 1 block higher than the bloodstone brick. So it needs to be, so it's even now, and then we cap it off with the crystal cluster. So I need to do that all around the outside. And once all 4 are in place, it should be a tier 6 altar. At which point I need to go fight a couple more demons, because I didn't quite have enough for the 5th crystal cluster block that I needed. And once we have that 5th one, we'll be able to turn that into a transcendant blood orb. Out of the way, tree. And finally, because we will have a tier 6 altar, it'll mean that I will know exactly how big this area needs to be and can start building into it and clearing trees and things. Rather than it just being this haphazard mess out here. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So let me just check all of them. Yes, yep, that one is definitely, and okay. So this should be now tier 6. Whoops. Tier 6. And it is! We have a tier 6 altar, everyone. That is so awesome. Okay. This is my first tier 6 altar done legit, by the way. I have not had one prior to this point. I've played around with them in creative, but I've never actually made one legit with the bell jars and stuff. I've seen it done, I've helped people, but I've never done it for myself. So now I have my very own tier 6 altar. Now I just need to go get 3 more life shards and we can get on with making the transcendant blood orb, which takes 200,000 LP, which should be easy for us to do because we now have extra runes on the altar and capacity, and I should be able to do that in just one stab. That's the great thing about the new incense system actually, is it's fantastic for upgrading orbs and making large amounts of runes and things like that, because you can get a very large amount of LP all at once. But it's not good for things where you need a sustained amount of very large LP, like that 15 million. Because how you'd normally deal with that is that you'd wander away. Hello friend. You'd wander away and let it fill up while you're going off and doing other things, and you just don't have that luxury with incense. Oh, they are dropping with my ender sword. How about that? I guess I'll just keep using it then. Because it's a much better weapon. Kills them much quicker, because it does a lot more damage. The bound blade is intended so it doesn't kill things right away. And now we have enough for the crystal cluster, so let's run back. We'll be visiting this demon town a few times in the future because we'll be doing the tier 6 stuff with blood magic, which requires more life shards and soul shards. But for now, for this episode, we're going to cap it off by making the transcendent blood orb. So, once I step through here, there it goes. I actually have, I just realized that I was going to have trouble crafting, but I actually have this crafting table here. And I can't remember why I put it there. I needed it for something. And there's our last crystal cluster. So, first things first, is we need to turn this off. I needed some more runes. I made about 15 more runes in order to finish tier 6. So right now we've got 60,000 LP in there, and I guess I can drain that out fairly quickly with the Archmage's Orb. Yep, it'll be done pretty soon. Because I want to see how much I get off one jab with just those self-sacrifice in there. The capacity is less than 200,000, so I'm expecting we'll easily hit the altar's cap at the moment, which means we'll have to put in more runes of superior capacity. Okay, empty. So, take the orb out so it doesn't drain things right away, and knife. Oh, you know what happened? I did not incense. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, I'll be back once I get some more once I get some more health. I'm back. The altar is empty. The knife is charged, and I have full health. So now let's see how much I get. Oh yeah, maxed out. Alright, that's cool. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait for a little bit more health to regen, because the total we need for a transcendent orb is 200,000, and we are, with that altar the way in its capacity the way it is, we're I think 4,000 short. So I'm just going to let this knife charge up again. Make sure I'm well fed and regenning, because I only need another 4,000, so I don't need to worry about getting all my health back. Okay. So now we have, so just shy of 6,000 for us to get where we need to go. So in order to get this orb, we simply chuck you in here. And wait. That's going to drain pretty fast. I'm going to let it drain down as far as it can go, just to maximize the amount that I'm going to get once I jab myself. Yeah, may as well do it now. It's not going to make a huge difference. Yeah, that's more than enough. So, it's the moment of truth. Once this stops spinning and particles start going off, we should have a tier 6 orb, and I will be very, very happy. I think this has 100 million life points or something ridiculous. I don't actually know what the statistic is, but it's silly huge. There it goes. Transcendent blood orb. And now it's linked to me, and we have some amount of LP available to us. We have 200,000 LP. As you can see, this one doesn't have a fancy graphic because Unity hasn't updated since tier 6 has come in, or at least not for blood magic. So the orb has the old graphic, unfortunately. Anyway, we now have a tier 6 altar. You've seen a demon invasion, although you haven't seen the extent to it. I'm sure over the future episodes, as the invasion grows, you'll see more and more of it. And we have a tier 6 altar with a tier 6 blood orb. So we are trucking along quite nicely. So thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.